Next, I'd like to talk about security and privacy. You know, one of the reasons that people choose Apple products is because of our commitment to security and privacy. And we believe that your private data should remain private. Now, not because you've done something wrong or that you have something to hide, but because there can be a lot of sensitive data on your devices, and we think you should be in control of who sees it. Now, to begin, we protect your information on your devices using state-of-the-art hardware and software. And this year, we're adding greater protections about how apps can access that information. Today, Apple devices check in with you before granting an app access to information like your location. You can tell because you'll see an alert just like this one. And macOS already provides API-level protections for things like contacts, photos, calendar, and reminders. But now in Mojave, we're extending these protections to include your camera and your microphone, as well as protecting sensitive parts of your file system, like your mail database, your message history, and your backups. And all of this is protected by default for any app that you run on the system. Important protection. Next, I want to turn to some great enhancements to Safari, because Safari works really hard to protect your privacy, and this year it's working even harder. Last year, we introduced intelligent tracking prevention to dramatically reduce the ability for apps to track you across websites using cookies. This is the kind of thing where you look at a product on one site, and then you move to another site, and somehow this is just following you wherever you go. Well, we've all seen these like buttons and share buttons, and these comment fields. Well, it turns out these can be used to track you, whether you click on them or not. And so this year, we are shutting that down. Now, if you do want to interact with one of these, or one of these apps tries to access that information, you'll get this, and you can decide to keep your information private. Now, next, let's talk about fingerprinting. You know, data companies are clever and relentless. And in addition to cookies, they use another method called fingerprinting. And here's how it works. Just like you can be identified by a fingerprint, it turns out that when you browse the web, your device can be identified by a unique set of characteristics, like its configuration, its fonts that you have installed, and the plugins that you might have on the device. And these data companies can use this set of characteristics to construct a unique fingerprint to track your device from site to site. With Mojave, we're making it much harder for trackers to create a unique fingerprint. We're presenting web pages with only a simplified system configuration. We show them only built-in fonts. And legacy plugins are no longer supported, so those can't contribute to a fingerprint. And as a result, your Mac will look more like everyone else's Mac, and it will be dramatically more difficult for data companies to uniquely identify your device and track you. Now, we're bringing all of these new protections to Safari on both Mojave and iOS 12.